Where's my D20? Gobbo! Hello and welcome to Hobb's Horror Stories. I am Hobb, your hobgoblin narrator. Today we have a great TTRPG horror story for you. Today's story does involve some NSFW topics and talk of SA, so consider this a warning for all. This story comes from Reddit and was written by Just Another Valerie. The title of today's story is, Oh, Guess I'm a Sex Slave Now. Alright, so this happened a few years back, but I was in a college tabletop group. There was one particular DM who ran games for most of the groups, who we'll call George for this story. Anyways, I'm preparing for my first game with him, rolling character stats, figuring out my backstory, stuff like that. According to George, I'd be jumping in to replace another character who had been team killed for being a constant thorn in the side of the other players. These players would be going to the Kenku Republic, or as George described it, Bird Russia, where my new character would be introduced. So I go with an Aarakocra Artificer. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly, the race has always confused me, but we talked at length with the DM about my character, and if they could own a gun store, and how he could work with the ruling government. Well, come my first game, and I'm told by George to wait while he gets everything ready for my character introduction. The party enters the main palace and meets the ruler, who offers them an assistant on the quest they're about to take for him. Instead of the introduction George and I had worked out, my character was dragged out in front of the other party members. Feathers torn out and severely malnourished with his legs and arms bound. This was not at all what we had agreed upon. George, however, decided to not tell me that Aarakocras were second-class citizens and that the ruler had taken my character for his own personal uses. Not a great start. The game continues, my new party taking my character and leaving the palace. They decided to stop in town to shop and restock when out of nowhere we were all asked to roll saves. Apparently, the Aarakocra Rebellion decided they were going to have a magically enforced march on the capital city, and you'll never guess who auto-failed the saving throw. Oh, and don't worry about it if my character was seen or not, as a photograph was taken with my character front and center. So now my character is being hunted by the law enforcement, the party appropriately reacting with grabbing my character and running the hell out of the city. The party, however, decides to continue with the mission, finding the rebel HQ, easily findable in the woods next to the capital, of course. As we travel through the woods, we're attacked, and I'm told by the party to hang back and hide as my character is still weak from being, imprisoned. Well, George springs a new and awesome, his words, mechanic where whenever a new party member is in an enclosed space they need to roll a Constitution saving throw. My weakest stat. I fail and George tells me that my character has been teleported into a pocket dimension where he is tormented by his worst nightmares and memories. He cannot escape unless someone else lets him out. I did not return for Session 2. Honestly, OP, I do not blame you for not returning to another session. I don't think I would have either. This DM sounds horrible, and the campaign also sounds horrible. All DMs out there, make sure if you discuss with a party member what their introduction is going to be and everything that they are going to be doing, that is what actually happens. You should not tell them one thing and then blindside them with something, especially something as messed up as being the king's personal sex slave. typically people don't find that to be fun to play out. In most cases. Due to the short length of the first story, I do have one more story for you today. This one is also a quick little story, but one that I wanted to share. Today's story also comes from Reddit and is written by HZ Guy. The title of the story is DM Must Serve the Players. I've dodged a bullet. I'm collecting people for my online campaign, and that guy wanted to join it. He did not want to send text for the game details elaboration even though I asked him to send text, and I was unable to listen. Instead, he sent voice messages to and desired immediate answers. I repeated my conditions and he voice called me. He demanded me as the GM to adapt all players' desires. I told him to go F himself because I could not speak. He called me a spineless yelper and blocked everyone. Happy ending, I guess. Both of these stories are about communication, which in the first story, the DM failed to do. And in the second story, a player failed to do. When boundaries are set, please respect them. They are there for a reason. Horror stories would be a lot less common if boundaries were respected. In the second story, I know that as a new player you can be extremely excited to play in a new game. I have been there. I have spam texted a DM or two in my time playing. However, when I have done this in the past, I made sure that it was with a DM that is okay with this. And anytime that someone told me, hey, I can't talk right now, I would respect that boundary. If you are looking for more great horror stories like these, please click the link at the end of this video. Let's get to the conclusion. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. If you have any stories you would like to have read here on the channel, please share them to the email in the description below. Also, if you could please like, comment, and subscribe. It would help us greatly to slay the monster known as the algorithm. Thank you for your time from all of us here at Goblins and Gremlins.